the truth.
Ron, you look at the last two games for you guys and how dominant you guys were in the first half, 70-plus in each. Tonight it was 69 points in the second half. What allowed you guys to open things up there in the third?
Defensively, we got stops, and we had great pace. Even when they scored, we just got the ball out. Continue to play with a lot of pace. Allows us to get into our offense and not go against the shot clock. So we're playing, with a lot of balance, and we was able to connect on some field goals.
You know how much pride Tristan takes in being a versatile defender. How much do you relish those opportunities going up against him?
We had a lot of battles in practice before too. Double T is definitely a great defender, being able to guard bigs, being able to guard smalls and things of that nature. So, you just got to try to, be very decisive with your moves. Don't play around with the ball too much, and also be able to finish because he's a really good shot blocker as well. So just try to put the pressure on him.
I figured practice would have happened in maybe in switch opportunities, but did you ever have like that steady of a match?
Yeah, when we were on separate teams, sometimes T. Lou would and we were allowed to scrimmage. T. Lou didn't really like us scrimmaging too much, but when we did kind of play 5-on-5 and things of that nature, and we would split up the teams, Tristan would always guard me, and definitely, some good battles.
There's a lot of speculation both about Tristan's future and Kevin's future in Cleveland. What type of skill set or package could they bring to a team?
LeBron, your numbers are usually always pretty good, right? But with AD out, what has been your approach, and how similar, different is it compared to other games?
Well, with AD out, we're missing 27 or 25, 27 points a game. So everyone has to chip in offensively. I'm not saying to cover that because you can't cover what he does, but just try to step up your game a little bit more too. So that's basically what it is for all of us, not just myself.
How does it help this team in April, May, June, for guys like Troy and Jared to be able to contribute in the way they have over the last few games in January?
It's big time. It's big time for them to get reps, game reps, meaningful minute reps, and because you never know throughout the course of a playoff game where you just need someone to come off the bench and give a spark. I've been through playoff series where injuries has happened. Knock on wood. I've been through playoff series where one of the guys that you count on maybe just be struggling a little bit. You need to be able to count on someone to come in and give a spark. So for them to get these reps has been very beneficial, not only to them but for this ball club so far.
What was it? I don't think we've talked to you since the Thunder. Obviously not since the Thunder game. But what was it like for you to see sort of those guys get that opportunity and do what they did with it?
They took full advantage. They took full advantage of the opportunity, went into a building that's very hard to play, a team that's been playing some exceptional basketball, especially at home in OKC, and they went out and pretty much controlled the whole game, and it was just great. It's great to know that that those guys just stay ready, and that's just our team. No matter what, they stay ready, and they always ready for it when their name is called, their number is called, and it was a wonderful game to see.
Dwight had a monster game tonight. Dwight Howard. Is there anything that has surprised you about him playing so far this season, halfway in?
No, we've seen it. We know what he's capable of, and that's why he's here. He's accepted his role, and he's thrived in it, and he hasn't had any excuses of anything. And like I said, we're just happy to have him a part of this club.
Alex has been moving the ball very well. How important he has become for this team?
AC is pretty much every time he's in the game, he's a plus guy. He just does so much. Sometimes it show up in the box score, sometimes it don't. But he's just always a plus guy. He's going to defend at a high level. He's going to get guys involved. He's very smart, very tough. So to have him on his ball club, it's a luxury.
Do you enjoy the Dwight threes as much as everybody else does?
I enjoy when they take them throughout the course of the game. Yeah, I do. When we up big in the fourth quarter, the way they've been playing our two bigs under 5 minutes, they can catch them up. And our bigs collectively this season is 5 for 8 from the 3-point line. So They got a hell of a percentage, and that's their reward. That's their reward. When they battling the way they do versus bigs every day, they setting screens, they rolling, they blocking shots, they changing shots. That's their reward to be able to, get a nice trail three, corner three as well, and they've been knocking them down.
Last two questions, please. They apparently practice this a lot during their individual times.
Yeah, I see everything.
Did you see the floater by Jared Dudley?
I did.
What did you think of that?
Well, he's not going to get all the way to the rim. He's not going to do that. He's not going to get all the way to the rim, and he won't. He knows his game. He's going to shoot threes, and he's going to shoot floaters. He got great touch, but it danced around that rim for a minute, and then but we needed that too because we was making a run at that point in time. So, Duz is great, man. One of the best teammates I ever had, no matter if he's making shots or not.
Hey, Frank, aside from just maybe some obvious energy difference in the second half, did you see anything specifically that was just enabling the offense to get going so much where you got the season high in points and a half?
I think in the first half, we were executing decently, and we missed a lot of open looks. But the second half, I think once we felt like we got the game under control, then everybody starts feeling confident, and we try to preach pace. Our offensive pace in the first half of the last two games on the last trip was off the charts. We scored over 70 points. We wanted to start the game that way. We didn't really start the game that way, and sometimes that happens. But you continue to talk about it and preach it, and ask for it and push for it, and it came around. And obviously our pace gets negated if we don't get stops and if we foul. So we did a better job with that in the second half as well.
Hey, Frank, LeBron's numbers are always pretty good, but when AD hasn't been on the floor, how similar or different do you see his approach being versus other games?
I think he's always in attack mode, but probably a little bit more when AD's out. And, I don't know what the numbers look like, but he's going to do whatever it takes to win. If that means getting his teammates involved, that's what he'll do. If that means being more assertive offensively, looking for his own shot or looking to attack the basket, that's what it looked like tonight.
Frank, does anything strike you about the LeBron-Tristan matchup, just about the switchability maybe of both players and where today's game is?
Yeah, it was unusual. We were trying to figure out if anybody else started their center on LeBron, and I don't think anybody's done that this year, but Tristan's a unique type of center. He has that ability to guard in those matchups. Obviously, there's a familiarity there, and they don't have a lot of great other options. They're pretty small at the wing position, so it did present a unique challenge that may have had something to do with why the first half was a little bit out of rhythm for us. Just a different type of matchup. We know teams are going to try to junk games up with certain things like that, and I thought we did a good job throughout the game, just figuring out the right way to attack it.
What did you think? You talked about getting back in control of the game. What did you feel like were the biggest factors to doing that after the first half?
I think we just executed better offensively, and when you're getting good shots on goal, you get your defense set. We get our defense set, we're pretty good. We're pretty hard to score on, and again, the first half defensively was probably the most disappointing part of the night. We executed and missed some open looks, but our attention to detail in the first half defensively was very poor, and that was illustrated at halftime. And I thought we did a better job of that in the third.
Did you anticipate that Dwight would be this good of a fit with the team, and what do you think games like this do for him mentally?
I did anticipate that he, if he came in and his attitude was right and his role acceptance was, what we had hoped it would be, that he could be a heck of a piece, a heck of an asset for us. And so I did anticipate that he could have a strong impact, maybe not as much as he's having. He was a monster tonight, 21 of 15. What was the second part of your question? Well, I just think every small success any of our players have, it just builds confidence and strength in what we can accomplish. And when you know that each guy on the floor can come in and have dominant performances like that, we got a lot of guys on our roster that can impact the game in a strong, positive way like that. It just contributes to the overall confidence of the team.
Frank, you guys are basically halfway through at this point. What's left sort of for you as a coaching staff to still kind of learn about the group you have and things you're trying to discover, things like that?
Well, we got to sustain it. We still have 42 games to play and hopefully a lot of playoff games. Doing it for small stretches of the season don't really matter. We've got to be able to do it, throughout 82 and into the playoffs. And, you got to fight slippage, as you go through, through an 82-game season. Your offense may start to click and your defense starts to slip a little bit. The attack changes. Teams figure out what we're doing well, and they'll attack us differently, or they'll defend us differently based on trying to take away the things we're having success with. So it's a constant evolution throughout the 82-game season where we have to just see how our opponents are changing, how they're approaching us, and sustain our success.
You basically have the sort of the fundamental character of the team and all that. You feel like that's...
Yeah, in terms of figuring ourselves out, we haven't really toyed around with a lot of different lineups and rotations because the formula we're using is working. So I think there's still some of that we can continue to tinker with.
Hey, Frank, you talked a lot about the defense and intangibles of Caruso. Last couple of games, 6 assists tonight. He's made 5 of his last 6 threes. Where do you think he can still go and get to with that type of more traditional point guard play and just evolving overall?
He's a jack of all trades. We've been playing him at the wing as a defensive specialist. He can handle the point, like you just alluded to. He's just an invaluable piece of our success this year for the variety of ways that we can use him. And tonight it was sharing the backup point guard role with Quinn Cook. But he did have a nice stretch when he was a lone ball handler out there, and he just has great value because of the versatility that he has to his game.
Frank, Anthony's such a big part of what you guys do defensively and the effectiveness. When he's out, what are either the philosophies or approaches in terms of trying to offset that absence?
Well, we just have to be more cautious about individual matchups at that position. Like Kevin Love is a tough matchup for anybody, but we would feel better with Anthony Davis out there than anybody else that we have on our roster. But you have to just look at those types of things, the matchups. But I thought Kuz and Duds did a terrific job competing, and we sort of brought some help. We tried to take some things away from K Love, in a more creative way than we would have had to with Anthony out there. But it's a team game. But he's one of those guys that can handle his own matchup and handle all the pick and roll ball handlers in the league on his own. So you just have to get a little more creative.
Frank, when you talk about those small successes, building confidence for all your guys, how important is it to make sure that everybody top to bottom is getting those over the course of the season and to kind of, I guess, build out your depth by the time you get to the end of the year? Because you don't have a chance to do that for some of these guys when you're at full strength.
No question. And, that is part of the mission of the head coach of an NBA team is to make sure that guys are continuing to get opportunities. I told Quinn Cook and Troy Daniels and Duds, we don't like to see those guys, having going too many games with DNPs, and we got to get opportunities to get them in there and to get some work and to be coached and improved and for them to find rhythm, all those types of things. And this stretch has been invaluable from that standpoint for those guys being able to get in there, get some rhythm, get some confidence.